Dutchess County, New York. One of my favorite places to ride in this country. Nothing but farmland, country roads, and blue skies as far as the eye can see. And some pre-hamburger over there. Man, this is such a perfect day. You need these days, you know, mental health days, I like to call them. I got a bunch of good buddies with me. Payne's Rides is leading our ride today, as I mentioned in my last video. I don't really know where we're going, and I have a good, I shouldn't say that. I have a decent idea of where we're going. I think we're going through the Berkshires into Vermont, and I'm stoked. I got to see DeBest1A again. That's awesome. That's my guy right there. I met him a few years ago, but when I met him, I didn't have the 11-inch custom chrome apes. I had drag bars. So he saw my bike and he's like, "Oh my God, looks way different," you know? But I'm just so happy to be out today. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are able to ride wherever you are. Like I said, we're in Dutchess County, New York right now, going north, tearing up the roads, having a good time. It's kind of hard to vlog whenever Mike is leading, and I love him to death, but I mean, he sets the pace pretty fast. I can keep up with him, don't get me wrong. It's not bad. It's just I get a lot of wind noise whenever I try to keep up with him, so I don't know. In my last video, I talked about my summer plans. I really only have that West Virginia ride. I'm not really planning on doing much after that. Unless that changes, I'd like to, but I just have a lot going on, as you guys know, and I don't have to get into that. But I would like to do another ride before I move. That would be fun. I'm going to do a lot of weekend trips, a lot of day trips, stuff like that. So yeah, that's that. We got a lot of different bikes today. We got a couple Yamahas. We got my Sportster. We got a Victory. You know, we have diversity. I have a quick question for you, and I want to know what you guys think, because I'm not really sure how to answer this question, but I've had a lot of people recently ask me about my motorcycle and how I got into riding, because they want to get into riding too, but they're not really sure what to buy or what to get, or do you think there is such thing as a beginner motorcycle? Yeah, do you think there is such thing as a beginner bike? I'm not going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to pretend like I am the all-knowing authority when it comes to riding and motorcycling, because I'm not. I've learned a couple of things in my illustrious career as a rider, as a person, really. One thing I have learned is that, just like there are different people, there are different motorcycles out there. Not all bikes are created the same way. There's so many different kinds for so many different riders. You got your big people, you got your small people, you got your skinny people, and you got your chubby people. And you got your big bikes and your small bikes. And there's different kinds of bikes too. Do you want to ride a cruiser? Do you want to ride a sports bike? Do you want to ride a dual purpose, off-road, scooter? You got to think about, what do you see yourself on? What do you want to get out of your motorcycling experience? That's the first thing you got to think about. And another thing is money. I mean, I hate to bring that up, but it's the truth. You got to be reasonable. You have to be reasonable with how much money you have and how much you want to spend. Personally, I believe you don't need to spend all the money in the world on your first bike. You may have a vision of what you want to get out of your riding experience, but I mean, at the end of the day, you can't afford it. Don't sink yourself into mountains of debt. I bought this bike because it was a cruiser. I wanted to ride a cruiser. It was cheap, and I liked the look of it. I liked the feel of it when I test rode it. Aesthetically, it just fits me. It fits what I want to get out of riding. I learned how to ride on the Sportster. I'm really happy with it. I'd recommend this bike to anybody starting out, but you know, if you're 6'8" and weigh like 350, then you're not going to want to. You're probably not going to want to ride my Sportster, even if you put a tall boy seat on, even if you put highway pegs and, you know, the works. Not all bikes are created the same way, just like people aren't created the same way either. So be reasonable, be realistic. Don't listen to other people either. That's another thing. Do not listen to other people. Let me rephrase that. People can give you advice, but don't let people bully you into doing something you don't want to do. You know, like, you don't have to get one bike because someone says so, or another bike because someone else says so. You know what I mean? This is your life. This is your journey. This is your experience. Wow, I can't believe how beautiful that is. But, you know, listen to your heart. Be reasonable, be realistic, ride your own ride. There's a lot of other advice I could probably give, but I'm kind of getting distracted by how nice the scenery is around me. So that's what I think. What advice would you give yourself if you started riding, and do you really think there is such thing as a beginner bike? I think there are plenty of different kinds of bikes that a beginner motorcyclist can start out on. But in terms of there being a beginner bike, I don't know if I can answer that question. I don't know if there is such a thing. I don't know. Like I said, you know, I'm not the all-knowing authority on motorcycling, so take that with a huge grain of salt. But alright guys, that's it. That's all I got. I'm going to continue riding. Take care, ride safe, and I'll talk to you later. Peace out.